I ever tell you the story about the time that I flirted with Chase Crawford on the set of Gossip Girl? Yeah, whenever I think about it, and I think about it a lot, it makes me cringe. And you're in luck because I feel like telling that story today. So, quick backstory. I'm originally from São Paulo, Brazil, one of the biggest cities in the world. And I moved to the States for college and I went to Savannah, Georgia. And I was a little bored because Savannah was a little small for me. And of course, I was already obsessed with Gossip Girl. I had already been watching it from home in Brazil. But while I was watching it in Savannah, I was like, that's where I need to be. I need to be in New York. And talk about parasocial relationship, because even though I knew that these people were playing characters, I thought that they actually lived like that and they were friends and partied together. So I was like, I need to be in New York. I need to be with those people and I need to get on that show. So I stayed in Savannah for a year. And then I transferred and I arrived to New York a little bit early, and I stayed with an aunt that lived there. And while I was there, I was buying backstages and trying to go on auditions, and I ended my signing up for Central Casting. For those of you who don't know, Central Casting is an agency that gets talent and puts them in background jobs. So while I was getting ready for my first orientation day, I got a call asking if I was available to work for a Gossip Girl. And I was so excited. Yes, I was, of course. Yes, I was gonna have to miss one of the orientation days, but I thought I came to New York to act. I came to New York to be friends with the people of Gossip Girl, so I need to be there. If that means I have to drop out of school, I'll drop out of school. Spoiler alert, I didn't drop out of school. Back then, Central Casting was all through the phone, and I guess this is dating me, but so you'd have to call, and there was a voicemail that you'd listen to and take notes, and if you missed something, you'd have to call again and listen to the voicemail again, and etc., etc. I was going to have to wake up super early and make my way to the Silver Cup Studios. When I got there, I got my makeup done, I got my hair done, I got to try on cute dresses, and I got fitted into my favorite one, and it was time to be on set. The episode I was on, and if you guys are Gossip Girl fans like I am, you'll know exactly the episode I was on. Oh, let me go get something. Okay, I'm back. So the episode I was on was the episode where Jenny makes Vanessa a dress for the winter ball or winter wonderland ball, but under the lights, the dress is transparent. And she was doing that because she had a thing for Chase Crawford. Apparently we all did. So there I was on set, and I was getting worked a lot. I think the AD liked me. That was the first time I heard about SAG voucher. They were asking some people to come back, and they asked me if I wanted to come back. And I heard someone say, I'll only come back if there's a SAG voucher involved. So I said the same thing. Had no idea what I was talking about. That was also the first time I heard about stand-ins. And I was like, oh my gosh, why am I not Blair Waldorf stand-in? I am meant to be Blair stand-in. Or maybe they'll discover me and I can play Blair's cousin or an extra mean girl. I just wanted to be part of that crew so bad. But for the scene where Vanessa gets, not naked, but where her sheer dress is exposed, I was standing right behind Chase Crawford, which was a good place to stand because they were going to get his reaction shots since all of this happened because Jenny and Vanessa were both into Chase Crawford. I was standing behind him, and in between takes, I would speak loudly enough so that maybe he could hear me. I made sure everybody knew that I was new to New York and I was from Brazil because I thought that made me extra sexy and cool. I know, I make myself sick. But nothing. He wasn't paying attention to me. And I was like, what the heck? Why isn't, like, there's an exotic person here. Why isn't he paying attention to me? The scene where this all happens, where Vanessa gets exposed, there's also some snow coming down from the sky. In between takes, they weren't resetting him. And I knew, because I had seen it happen before, that they needed to reset and get rid of the snow that was on Chase Crawford before they reshot that same scene. Like, you know, continuity wise, if the snow hadn't fallen, he shouldn't have snow on him. So when they didn't come to reset him, I went to him and I was like, oh, let me get this for you. And I touched him and I reset the snow. Nowadays, I work on set and I know how wrong that is. I should have never touched the actor. That should have been makeup's job, wardrobe's job, but not my job. And I am so embarrassed. If anybody that works on set here with me, please know that I know better nowadays. I'm union, I swear. And that's what makes me cringe. But when I did that, he looked at me and he was so shocked. He was so shocked that like a background was touching him. And I was like, oh, I'll grab this for you real quick. And then they shot the scene, and after they yelled cut, all the other backgrounds were like, you can't touch the actor, you can't interact with the actor, you shouldn't do that. And I started to get bright red. I was so embarrassed. And I think that he noticed that I was embarrassed, that he looked and said, no, it's not a problem. Boom, I was in. He was allowing me to talk to him. Well, at least I thought he was. So I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. I have no idea about set etiquette. This is my first time on set. Actually, I just moved to New York. I'm from Brazil. And in Brazil, we like to party. So where are the good partying spots here in New York? Where are the cool places you guys go to? I asked him that. I tried to chit chat to him about that. And he just turned around and ignored me and started talking to his makeup team. So that's the story about how I flirted with and got rejected by Chase Crawford and didn't work on Gossip Girl ever again. But I do have a really good story about how Jonah Hill flirted with my roommate and I. New York in the early 2000s, I'll tell you that much. Well, 2010. But Chase, if you're hearing this, I'm engaged now, so you lost your shot.